Hello. I'm not going to go into my name because I don't think that's important for this right now. I don't know why I started this video. I think initially I wanted to write a lot of stuff, and I know right now I can't because there's a lot going on in life. But at the same time, I felt like I wanted to connect to other people. There's going to be a few videos, I guess. It's like the start of some videos that I'm thinking about doing, I guess, based on some of the problems I think that we have in society, and perhaps we don't know we have in society. But, I mean, we know. Let's be real. Let's break it down, guys. We know the shit that's not supposed to be going on in society, but I think sometimes it's hard to dissect it and really apply it to ourselves and realize where we are erring versus just looking at the faults of the world in general, right? I think it's easier to just kind of break it down and think about yourself first, and then the rest of the world makes sense. I think that's actually one of the bigger issues that I find with people in general, is just that they don't know themselves, and it causes a lot of insecurities around that. Now, this video I wanted to make about basically the concept behind this very video, honestly, is communication, right? I think that, I don't know if here or everywhere, I feel like it's pretty much everywhere that I see nowadays. I feel like we've lost a big sense of communication, but not in the way that we see it lost. I don't know if that makes sense at all. Let's back up. How do we define communication? Now, we could define it a few ways, obviously. I mean, I could fucking go on Google right now and just, define it for you, but what do you feel is communication? What do you think you are lacking in the realm of communication? Because I can tell you that communication is the, passing of one idea to something else, or, being able to explain a theory, a thought, anything really, being able to explain an emotion, or, something that we saw. So communication can be a variety of things, but I think at least interpersonally, which is one of the things that we're lacking a lot nowadays, communication is the ability to understand and describe your own emotions and, kind of go from there with somebody else. You have to be able to understand yourself and what you're feeling in order to really be able to connect with somebody else and really be able to communicate with the other person, communicate your true emotions. It's an issue that I've had, that I see everybody have, is just the lack of communication in general. And I mean it in every aspect. Like, there's so, in general, when I was little, I used to think that, or I used to get in trouble, obviously, for being too blunt. Speaking of blunt, we're going to take a hit from the bowl. And continue on. Anyway. I always wanted to find a way to get to people, connect with people. I thought I wanted to study psychology for a while. I did do that, and I didn't finish college for that, but I learned enough. But I think it was just something that was innately a talent. I don't want to say a talent, but I think I've always just been able to understand why people do things you know, the things they do. I think that the way we've grown up in society, or the way society is right now, for perhaps a number of reasons. I mean, we could sit here and theorize for hours about why society is the way it is. We could go real fucking conspiracy theorist with it and say this, that, it's made like this, we're in the wheel, we're, you know, it just happened to be this way. In the end, it doesn't really matter. In the end, it really comes down to the day-to-day. It comes down to what can we do now to fix where we are, or what can we do now to change what we are unhappy with. I personally don't know the, you know, perfect route. I have a bajillion things in life, but it's not something that I don't stop thinking about. You know, it's not something that is not always there on my mind, and I just want to find the people that have those kind of things on your mind. Like, what do you do to change the world, or what do you do to reach out to others? When we realize that our need for communication really comes down to our need to socialize and our need to be part of something bigger, then I think that's when we can really understand that clear and, like, you know what they say, clear and honest communication. Or it's true though. I mean, clear communication. Let yourself say what you're thinking, but let it be your real voice. You know what I mean? Like, I had a conversation with this about my girlfriend the other day. It's like, I think that we all just have like a bunch of voices in our heads going around and stuff like that. And I don't mean to say it like in a, hey, fucking Baker act that bitch way. I guess what I mean to say is more, we all have a lot of different voices that are telling us to do different things, our different inner thoughts. I think that they're just an internalization of the people that we've grown up around, or our society, or what we've always heard. But at some point in our life, we have to really stop just listening to our outside voices. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have to stop listening to what society told us, what our parents told us. Like, we can listen, but there's always this something inside us, I think, that lets us know, you know, if what we're doing is really wrong or not. We know that if we cheat on a test or cheat on somebody, it's wrong, you know? Like, even if nobody tells us necessarily, we still kind of, you know, look over our shoulder like, oh shit, is somebody gonna find out? You know? So I think that there's a natural kind of need to not hurt other people. But when we're forced into these situations where we have so many standards put upon us by society, by our family, by etc., the government, whatever you want to think about, just all these limitations, all these criticisms that we're constantly listening to in our head, that's not our real voice. You get what I'm saying? It's not you. It's who you think you should be. But, you know, I think most of us don't want to hurt anybody. I think we all just want to be understood. We all just want to be loved. I really do feel that way. Don't get me wrong. I'm not like, hey, big peace and love and hippie. And I've never really been that way. But I do think that understanding and love is a big tool to being able to really understand ourselves and be happy in our collective. But anyway, point is, I just want somebody out there, if you need to hear these words, I just want somebody to hear them. I just want you to know you're not crazy. You're not, you know, you're not alone. That's the truth of it. We always think we're alone, and I think that's the one thing we fight with the most for a lot of our lives, is just the fact that we feel alone. And really, it's as easy, or not necessarily as easy, but it is a choice. It's a choice we have to communicate, to reach out and be like, is somebody vibrating on my wavelength? Is somebody understanding me? I mean, we all have done things that we regret and we all have hopes, and we all have passions, and we're all much more than what we think we are. You get it? Like, I know you're more than you think you are. And that's important because we all have great potential. And I think that we forget that sometimes because we've let other voices break that down. Like, oh, you're so stupid, and little things like that. Like, just, we don't think of the power of words. That's why we need to communicate. That's why we need to think about our words. Communication is not just blurting out what you think. Like, don't confuse, like, impulsivity or being, you know, just saying whatever, blurting whatever's on your mind. Don't confuse that with honestly being able to know what you're thinking and what you're feeling. You know, sometimes somebody will do something to you and you'll be like, oh, fuck you, because you did this to me. But really, you're not mad because they did it. You're mad because they hurt you. You get the nuance, the difference. It's just little nuances like that that have a lot to do with our communication. And I feel that once we can really understand how we feel and communicate that clearly, that's like the first step to being able to make deep relationships. And we have to also be able to find the person that is going to receive that communication. You know, somebody that's also willing to communicate, because we can't just be talking at a wall either. Communication is always two-way. Relationships are never one way. It's always a give and take. So communication, just like it starts with me saying what I feel, it also has to be met in the middle by you really listening to what I'm saying, you know? So I think that's just some general advice, I guess. I just wanted to start off on that foot with these videos. I don't really know if I'll make them consistently, but I guess I just want to try to help heal the people that I can help heal. I think we all have our own specialties. We're all different. We're meant to be different, you know? We're not meant to all be good at the same thing, and we're not meant to be good at a million things. We're meant to be good at a few things and really thrive in them. That's my belief anyway. So, and I also think that we're all meant to be helped differently. I don't think that there's one route that'll, you know, fix it all, or, you know, one route that's going to get us all to the same place. I think we all have to take our own path and, you know, maybe hopefully meet up in the same awesome place at the end, you know? But anyway, yeah, I'm just going to post that, and if anybody has some thoughts, and oh god, I just noticed how big my nose looks. Anyway, if anybody has some thoughts and opinions on this, and I'm just gonna keep posting about my thoughts, because there's a lot of them. So take it easy and stay safe, and remember that it's not as bad as it seems.